You know, llamas can run up to 40 miles per hour.
You know, I've never been chased by a llama. I don't look forward to it. I've not tantalized or taunted a llama. So no, I've not. But that is surprising. It's impressive.
Yeah. Dude, also, do you ever wonder why they actually spit?
Do llamas spit? Is that a thing for real?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I guess I
Like
did not.
they spit, like if you walk up to a llama, you can get spit on. But llamas spit as a show of dominance over other llamas.
So
It's like it's like a loogie contest. See how far you can spit.
so
Dude.
if I'm in a llama suit, that's when it might rain down upon me. But if I'm approaching him as my normal man self, I'd probably be okay.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, are they okay?
Dude,
Cool.
the next thing on Google, the automatic questions: can llamas kill you?
Indirect death by llama.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
You know, we all want to go with a little bit of respect and dignity, and I don't know about indirect death by llama meets that category.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
So why do you think Upland chose a llama as their mascot?
You know, that's a good question. I do not know. I mean, I suppose I don't think llamas are cute personally, but I suppose the cartoon or the illustrated version of llamas are cute, and so you know, it kind of looks cute. I guess maybe if that's what they're heading towards, or you know, maybe is it like an international symbol or something? Like, I mean, I know that the llamas are big in South America. We have them up in North America. Are they?
Yeah, it's good. We should ask.
I mean, are llamas the only animal that is prevalent in every continent besides dogs and cats?
I wonder if they were thinking about it that deeply. If they are, that's a cool logo. Speaking of asking the team questions, the Upland team questions, today Vince and I had our first ever UCN broadcaster meeting. UCN is the Upland Contributor Network, and we are some of the broadcasters who are in the UCN, which just means we get to attend monthly meetings and we get to ask questions of the team. They don't tell us any secrets about the game or, you know, get anything to give us any advantage in the game, but it's just more questions that we may have that we can then share with you guys.
Yeah, it was a good meeting. It's my first meeting as well. The UCN is cool. Again, surprised to find out how many actually contributors there are in this UCN or the Upland Contributors Network. So in addition to the Upland Show, apparently there are other podcasts and or YouTube shows talking about YouTube or talking about Upland. Now here's the cool thing, at least that I learned in my first meeting, is that we got a little bit of maybe info about maybe some things that are coming up in Upland, right?
Yeah, we did. The big one that we talked about today was filters for your properties, and I know that tons of people have been asking for this feature. What do we mean by filters? When you're looking at your properties in Upland, it's just a list. You know, you can't sort.
Right. Would it be helpful just to open up Upland right now and just show what it's not right now? Like show the property window.
Yeah, good idea. Yeah, let me pull that up really quick.
So as Tyler's doing that, you know, we were talking about llamas. As you can see, the llama tends to or seems to be the chosen icon or mascot, if you will, for Upland. I have no idea why. We were pondering about that at the beginning of the show.
It's cool. They got them in a lot of different funny,
and I'll tell you what,
funny faces and stuff.
For those of you out there, you know, so here's something I did. So as Tyler was talking about that, I just thought, are there famous llamas in the world? Like, you know, there's famous mice, right? Like Mighty Mouse, Mickey Mouse, right? But famous llamas, you know. So there's Tina in Napoleon Dynamite, right? Great movie. But as I was Googling famous llamas, I came up with a few. Actually, I've never heard of these llamas before, but maybe someone out there does, and are fanboys or fangirls of these llamas. Number 1 was Barack Llama. Someone owns a llama named Barack Llama. There's Llama Del Rey. And then the third one was Gerald. I have no idea what that even means. But, I'll tell you what, I am willing, I'm not a great uplander. I don't have a whole lot of properties, but I'm willing to give a property, one of my properties to anyone who can anyone who can come up with the best name for a llama. If you had a llama, what would you name it? I'll give you a property. Just put it in the comments. I know it's a stupid exercise, man, but I'm willing to do that for you. So.
Hey, win a property. There you go. So I pulled up how properties is currently, and they're sorted by city, but it's just, so I have a lot.
He's flexing.
I have over 3,000, but not trying to flex. But it is a hassle. Like, if I want to see properties in Chicago, it's like I got to scroll for an hour. Like, and then I can't sort by what I've already listed for sale. There's really no
ideally,
benefit of this list.
Right. Like, ideally, I'd like to sort by what's listed and what's not listed. Right. So then I'd immediately jump to those that are listed. I might want to sort by city. So I could say, I want to focus on my Chicago properties right now and make sure that all those are listed. I might want to focus by what I paid for them, or minted property price, or what I bought from another user.
Exactly.
I want my sort by the size of the property, the upsquareds. I don't know, or collection. I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess
exactly. And they, what we saw today is that you're going to be able to sort by city, and not only city, but overall city, but then also the neighborhoods within the city.
That's cool. And that's available on the browser and on the mobile and on the app, right?
Yeah. So what you're going to do is, I believe, go into assets, and right here, where it has it's the first thing that pops up. There's also structures and block explorers, but properties is the first one. When you go to the menu, let me show here really quick, assets in the bottom left, and then properties. It's right there.
Gotcha. Cool. That'll be good. That'll be super helpful. Because, and also, by the way, we were kind of pushing on the group a little bit, the devs, and saying, okay, so that's cool. That's awesome. Congratulations, because we're excited about that. And I think all the users out there are going to love that new little sort feature. However, we were asking them, well, what's next on the horizon, right? And of course, they're not going to tell us everything, right? After all, we are players in the game still, and they have their own timelines that they can't commit to necessarily, but they have internal timelines. But this is what we just talked about. This sort is like release 1 of what will ultimately be a full suite of property tools, if you will, within this window. Like, for example, one of the questions I asked was, hey, could I, put could there be a tool that allows me to, list all of my properties that are unlisted at a single click? And I could say, like, list them for 50% more than what I paid for them, right? And that way I don't have to go property by property and go, okay, I'm going to list this one for that. Congratulations, it's now a list for sale. And it takes me, 48 seconds per property. And when you've got a truckload of properties, you're like, dude, I've got a life. I've got to live my life. But ideally, though, the tool will enable you to say, okay, look, all my properties that are not listed, go ahead and list them. And I'm not going to individually look at each property to determine what the price should be. I'm just going to say listed for 900% more than what I paid for them. I'm just saying that randomly, but which is going to help us out a ton, right?
Yeah, and so they said that's not coming in the current update, but that will eventually be coming. Is what we heard. One of the other features that is coming, however, is similarly to that, is the percentage markup that you're willing to accept an offer on. Because
Right.
I think we've all experienced getting that lowball offer from somebody, and it just pisses you off that the game even lets you let someone submit an offer
Right.
for less than what you paid for it a day ago.
Yeah,
It's like I bought one for 5,000 upics, and then the next day I get an offer on it for 4,000, and it's like,
right. You're like, no, like, thank you.
No,
idiot.
Thank you, and go to hell.
Right. Although that's not a button that will be available, the go to hell button.
Yeah,
but, that'd be cool.
Yeah, maybe one day.
Yeah. Well, cool. So I'm pretty excited about that. What else did we learn, Tyler, in that meeting today?
Yeah, what really stood out to me, like honestly, one of the biggest things is just how proactive the Upland team is being. They asked for our feedback, so please, everyone listening, come on YouTube. If you're listening not on YouTube, go to youtube.com/The Upland Show and leave us a comment. Share what you would like us to communicate.
Yeah.
To the team if you're not getting any feedback through Discord or however you're trying to reach out to them. But yeah, going back to it, what really stood out to me is that they really care. Yeah. They're not just throwing a meeting where they're like, hey, thanks for making content for us, and do you have any questions? Like it's like, no, what did you honestly think about these past events? Do you think it was successful? How do you think the community liked these events? And so they're asking these types of questions. They're asking our genuine feedback, and I personally witnessed them taking notes when we were giving feedback, Vince and I and other UCN members.
Yeah, so that's a good point, because as they were asking for our feedback, we are such a limited, sample of the population, of the total population of users in Upland. But, there they were. There was probably a dozen of us on this call, and we're giving our feedback. But I don't think that the majority of us on the UCN are having active dialogue with our audiences, like maybe they're hoping that we are.
Yeah.
And so I guess the point is, we invite you to inform us, or just go straight to the game, in Discord or wherever, and inform the developers of what you think would be helpful. Or you could drop it in the comments. Let us know what you think should be helpful. For example, again, the questions were, what did you like about the most recent events? How could we do better? Let's see. What were some of the other questions they asked? I'm remembering the one, but what were some others?
Mainly just follow-ups, like getting more details about that question, I think. Events, like treasure hunts.
Right. Right.
Property releases we talked about.
Yeah.
But overall, and coming from a gaming background, having played a lot of other video games, I've yet to see many games that are this, where the devs are this kind of wanting genuine feedback and wanting to make improvements. Like a lot of times games are made and they're like, it is what it is. Like we don't want to hear your crap. Stop complaining. Right. So I think obviously it's a lot of work, and Upland is doing something that no game has ever done before. So it's hard because the challenges with blockchain are new. Yeah. It's new technology. So even with all of that, the fact that they are doing better than a lot of games who aren't dealing with new technology is like really eye-opening to me, actually. Yeah,
and I've said this before on a previous podcast or a previous episode, but if you're at all experienced in the crypto world, when you get into a new token or a new coin and you're like, man, this is supposed to be the next thing, this is going to the moon. You've seen a few videos on YouTube about it, and someone's hyping this particular coin, and maybe you go to their Telegram account for that particular coin, or you go to their Reddit, whatever, and you're interacting with the community, or you go to their webpage. Again, if the dev team on these coins are anonymous, that's a red flag, right? Because I suppose if you're planning to scam somebody, ideally you don't want them to know who you are, right?
Yeah.
It's just kind of common sense. So, again, so if you're investing in a coin out there or a token, and you go to their website, and the dev team is has some crazy kind of alias, be a little weary of that. I mean, I know there's some exceptions. I know Shiba Inu or whatever is supposedly pretty legit, but there's a lot of exceptions.
Well, and Bitcoin, right? There's one
that's
big
true.
counter
Yeah,
argument.
Satoshi. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. That is a good point. But I'm telling you though, man, if I'm going to throw some money at something, I suppose the community itself or the world has validated Bitcoin enough for me to feel comfortable in it.
In saying that, I do think Bitcoin is an exception to the rule.
Yeah.
Because most of the time people want to get behind a team.
Right.
And
yeah. I personally, I love Cardano because I actually really like Charles Hoskinson, the CEO of Cardano. The dude's got an amazing vision. He's, when that dude speaks, I'm like, bro, I just got to buy some more. Like, that guy's amazing.
Yeah. And Ethereum, wasn't Ethereum started by like some genius 15-year-old or something?
Vitalik and actually Charles Hoskinson were both two co-founders of Ethereum. Charles Hoskinson defected and now created Cardano.
Cool.
Right? So and then there's I think his name is Grant, who started Polkadot, whatever. But all those guys came from Ethereum, and now they're competitors. But you can listen to those individuals and their vision of where they're headed, and you just want to get on board. But so again, Upland, we got to see Dirk in 60 Minutes, which was awesome. In addition to that, though, what we're saying to you is that we were able to interact with the team. They got a lot of great ideas, a lot of very, very cool things that are coming. We don't know all of them, of course. They can't release those to us, but at least they told us enough to allow us to tell you what we know is coming, and that's what we told you about the tools. But a lot of a great positive feeling that the team is growing. They're certainly hiring new people all day long. Well, not all day long, but I mean, they're hiring new people.
Yeah.
They're definitely growing, and they definitely have a plan for the future. They have a roadmap for the moon when it comes to Upland.
Yeah, and I think Upland is building a really powerful team. They're making a lot of great hires, and that's actually one thing Vince and I want to do as part of this podcast is try to get more interviews with maybe some of the employees. Again, we don't have these interviews booked, but we've talked with some of the employees and we're definitely have at least a few coming on soon. But we'd like to interview more and more to showcase a lot of these, because I've done some research on LinkedIn. They're making some really cool hires.
Yeah.
Of people with really cool
great
backgrounds,
experience,
like leaders in the mobile gaming space, leaders in like the casino gaming space, which is like a multi-billion-dollar market, like all sorts of Dirk and Edon, the founders themselves. We'd love to have them on sometime.
Dude,
and really just what I'm passionate about is really finding what is unique about these employees, that like what skills, what background do they have, again, to build more trust in the community and in myself about the future of Upland and why they've made these hires. Because for me, like when at my company, I know when we make a new hire, like that can change the course of our whole team and what we're doing. And you make the right hire, and it like can change the whole company.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, right?
Absolutely. And if there's a leader out there who is hiring somebody to just be a yes man or yes woman or yes person, however you want to say it, that's obviously someone who is insecure in their vision because they just want someone to agree with them. Recently, Dirk Lewis, who is the CEO of Upland, recently contracted with or partnered with, or I wouldn't say hired, but engaged the services of, I should say, maybe one of the leading growth strategists in the metaverse. Right. I'm trying to find her name right now. I'm coming up.
Was it Heidi?
Maybe.
For some reason I'm thinking Heidi. But yeah, she's consulted lots of companies. I believe I forgot her specific background. But again, we'd love to have these employees on for an interview to really showcase again who Upland is hiring, the value that they're bringing to the team, and what that does for the future of Upland. And because I think a lot of people, and in fact, I've seen some YouTube videos out there, Upland is a scam, like it's a Ponzi scheme.
Right.
Even if I tell some friends, like it's something that's new, people are scared about new technologies, and they just think, well, that's a scam, you know.
Right.
And most of the time, that's because they don't understand it and they haven't researched it.
Right.
And I feel personally, I've done a lot of research, and I have looked into the team. It's one of the first things I did before I invested a significant amount of money in the game.
Yeah.
Is because for me, that gives me trust.
Yeah.
So, again, I would love to share that as part of our podcast. Do more of those interviews.
Okay. I found this person's name, and I think it's important to share this. So this person's name is Kathy Hackl. She is a thought leader, and growth strategist in technology. And in fact, she was actually recently listed as one of the 10 most influential women in technology right now by the magazine called Big Think. And so Kathy Hackl, her description on LinkedIn is what she does is that she helps brands enter the metaverse via strategy and branded gaming worlds and futures intelligence and holograms, avatar dimension, futurist, Thinker 50, radar, 2x, LinkedIn, top tech voice, speaker AR, VR, spatial computing, NFTs. Harvard graduate, this person.
Jeez.
And has a tremendous amount of experience. She is the chief metaverse officer at the Futures Intelligence Group, the Futures Metaverse Labs. Like, that's freaking awesome.
What a title! What a job title!
Yeah. I guess she actually has been hired. She lists, at least in her experience, in addition to being the futurist and chief metaverse officer at Futures Intelligence Group, she's also the metaverse growth strategist at Upland. That's kind of cool. So anyhow, the point is, there's a lot of brilliant ideas coming for with Upland, and we just got a taste of it today. But super excited about where it's headed, and I'm telling you this. I know we said this before, but there's a real vibe and a real sense with a real roadmap that we haven't seen, that maybe the public hasn't seen yet, that will potentially make Upland feel like the Bitcoin of 2017. Like, you would have wished, like, if you're watching this 6 months from now, you're probably like, dang, I wish I would have got in when these guys posted this video, because the things that are coming, we hear with the vibe. Again, we don't know the specifics. It's a hunch. Should send Upland to the moon. In fact, maybe, I don't know. And again, I'm just pulling things out of thin air.
Well, I think this was our first podcast where we're talking about Upland legits.
Right.
They straight up said, we are partnering with a brand that has millions of fans. And they haven't even announced what brand that is. That could be anything. That could be music. That could be a sports team. That, like, there's only so many things with millions of fans.
Yeah.
And to me, if they're going to make a partnership with someone or a group or a brand or something that has millions of fans, that means millions of people, or at least hundreds of thousands, the hardcore people, will hear about Upland and therefore want to join Upland. So I think we do, like, just the fact that they made that announcement, I think in a way is like, okay, I better get my stuff in order on Upland, like make sure I'm ready for whenever they make this announcement, because there's probably going to be a flood of people coming in.
Yeah.
And me personally, I want to have a bunch of good properties listed for sale,
Yeah.
ready to make some money
Yeah.
when
Absolutely.
that happens.
Absolutely.
Like, and it's making me excited about where the game's going.
Yeah. Very, very true. So, speaking of which, this wasn't announced during our UCN meeting, but it was announced in Discord, kind of quietly, seems like. But there's a new city being released, right?
Yes. It is
Santa Clara, right?
Santa Clara. Do you know much about Santa Clara?
I mean, Santa Clara is basically, in the Silicon Valley and, San Jose area. A lot of great companies their headquarters are in Santa Clara.
Pull it up. Yeah, what was the announcement? Don't switch. Let's see. UCN. Let's go to announcements. So we're checking Discord. Yeah, everyone, on Thursday, July 29th at 9 a.m., we will release Santa Clara Collections. Will be available in the app before the city release. Wow. Man, it's like they announce a city and then it's here.
Yeah,
Like, the game is moving so fast. I joined back in like October or November of 2020.
Yeah.
There was only like 3 or 4 cities.
Yeah.
And now there's what, like 8?
Yeah.
So, and they're coming faster and faster. Like, we're getting to the point where we're going to have at least 1 or 2 every month, it seems like.
Right. Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And think, San Francisco took 2 years to sell out.
Is that right, really?
And now cities are selling out in 2 months.
2 years? It took 2 years for
Yeah.
San Francisco to sell out.
Yeah, because it was
Dude,
the first city
San
in the
Francisco's
game.
legit. That's like
It just sold out like right around the time you joined. Like,
a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Really. Wow, that's crazy. Well, so Santa Clara is the home. It's right next to San Jose, pretty much. Silicon Valley. A lot of tech companies are in Santa Clara. We've got for example, Intel. Intel is headquartered in Santa Clara. Let's see.
50 minutes southeast of San Francisco. Oh, it's pretty close to.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know my
Hitachi,
California
Chegg.
geography, but
Yeah, Santa Clara is awesome, man. I mean, and there's that great show, right, about Santa Clara, right? Super funny. Anyhow, but yeah, Santa Clara.
is 169 years old.
Absolutely it is.
What is Santa Clara better known as?
St. Clair of Assisi, apparently, who was born in 1194, which, is very helpful. So, yeah, a lot of cool things that's happening. Now, by the way, this is kind of interesting. Santa Clara. Okay, so this is one thing we learned in our UCN meeting today. All right, so we have tier 1 cities, right? That's a phrase that I think has been widely used, at least historically, in this game. Tier 1 cities would be like New York, Manhattan, Chicago, San Francisco, all tier 1, right? A tier 2 city might be, give me an example, Cleveland is tier 2, right?
Yeah, Cleveland's tier 2.
And the difference between tier 1 and tier 2, in the game at least, is that tier 2 have more minted properties that are the Fair Start Act properties, meaning that they're reserved just for those with a limited amount of currency in the game.
Yes,
correct?
so a tier 1 has 75% non-FSA and 25% FSA. And then the mid tier has 50-50, and then tier 3 is 75% FSA. So the lower the tier, the more it benefits the new players.
Gotcha. Okay, very good. All right, so but this game, this is what we learned in UCN today, is that that Santa Clara, this city that's coming out on the 29th, is kind of more considered somewhere in between a tier 1 and a tier 2.
Yeah.
And why is that? Like, that means that there's still 75-25?
Yeah, that wasn't specified.
Okay.
I think
like it felt like to me like the city itself is not a big, geographical powerhouse.
It does say no more than 25% of Santa Clara properties will be listed under the
Yeah,
Fair Start Act. So that is
that's a characteristics in the game of a
I
tier
think
one.
what they were saying is it's the property releases are going to be representative of a tier one. However, it's closer to a tier two based on the value of the properties. So
Right.
so it's kind of a mixture. They're kind of I think they're kind of piloting something new for this.
Yeah,
And who knows, maybe this city has something to do with the Upland Legits announcement coming up, or like maybe it's even Cleveland. I think they brought Cleveland more because of the Hyperloop partnership, right? Like
yeah,
it doesn't seem like so far we have hubs. We have Chicago as a hub, New York, Manhattan is a hub, and San Francisco as a hub. These are the areas airports fly into. These are the hub tier 1 cities.
yeah.
Cleveland, I don't think they said was a tier 2 or tier 3 of Chicago. It's more of an extension. So maybe Santa Clara is similar to that.
Yeah.
So I think they're kind of like, I think they had rules that we thought were hard and fast rules,
Right.
but it's kind of it's a game. They're growing, they're testing different ways to release stuff.
Yeah.
And I even think in the future, maybe there will be really small city releases that don't even have collections. They're just properties,
Yeah.
because like at some point there's going to be like too many collections.
Right.
If every city has a collection,
Right.
It should mainly be the big ones, I feel like.
So I'm kind of interested to see, so remember Fresno. If you look at Fresno in the game, obviously the majority of the properties in Fresno actually have a Fresno address, but there are others that have a Clovis address, for example, and
Yes.
in some neighboring, communities. So yeah, Clovis right there.
So Clovis was an expansion to Fresno. You may
Oh,
not know that.
I didn't know
Clovis
that.
Fresno was originally released, and it cut off. If you're watching on YouTube, it cut off about here,
Yeah.
kind of this line. So
Right.
so about half of Fresno was released like a year after Fresno, or I don't know, 6 months after.
Really, 6 months after.
So they did like an expansion to it, and
Alright.
I think we'll see more of that happen in other cities as well. I could see Brooklyn adding Queens or something.
Okay. Well, the reason I was asking that is because if you look at Santa Clara on a map, right, and again, this is the center of Silicon Valley, right? So if you look at Santa Clara on the map, there's a lot of other very notable towns nearby. Of course, there's San Jose.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah,
Look,
and
you can see the
there's Cupertino to the left, right there, which is where Apple's headquarters are, right? And I think
and
let's see.
Facebook's over here.
Yeah, Facebook. Let's see. Google headquarters are where? That's Mountain View, which I think is nearby as well.
Yeah, I think
right
it's
there.
like
Yeah, Mountain View's right there. Okay. YouTube, I think, is right there as well. YouTube headquarters. That's in San Bruno, which I think is. Let's see, San Bruno.
Yeah, when I zoom out, the big things you see within the actual boundaries: Santa Clara University and Levi's Stadium.
Okay,
So
hold
they're
on. Let's see, Santa.
I don't think they're showing the properties yet.
Yeah. All right, San Bruno, and all of you who live in this area are probably laughing at us right now for being so ignorant towards San Bruno.
Dude, look
is a
how
little
few
north.
cities there are. There's or neighborhoods. There's only North 101, South 101, North Central, West Central, East Central, Southeast, and Southwest.
Yeah,
That's tiny. That's like the smallest city that's been released yet.
yeah, dude, I'm telling
It's
you
gonna
this.
sell out in a day.
Okay, so all the properties. Okay, anytime they announce a city, and I'm like, okay, sweet, I want to get into that city and see what's cool in that city. So, because I want to be the first one to buy or snag whatever it is that's cool in that city, right? So when I hear about Santa Clara, like I'm immediately thinking of, okay, Apple headquarters. If Apple headquarters is minted, dude, I want to own that because
Oh yeah, dude. Or Facebook headquarters.
you're a Facebook. I want to be the guy who owns that, and I want to knock on their door and be like, how much you want for your metaverse version of your headquarters because I own it.
Especially Facebook, because they're getting into the space. They're doing like Horizon or
yeah,
whatever.
Dude, they'd be pissed if I own their.
They're doing their own version of a metaverse, right. So they're probably going to want to own that property to promote their own metaverse at some point.
Yeah. By the way, YouTube is, like I said, it's in San Bruno, which is north. So if you zoom out just a little bit, there's a peninsula towards the left, towards the west. So just kind of zoom out a little bit more.
Here?
No, zoom out a little more.
Oh, it's like not. More. It's not going to be.
I don't think so. So keep going. Keep zooming out a little bit more. So you see where it says San Mateo?
Yeah. No.
Right. Yeah. Right there. It's kind of right around there.
It's in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Palo Alto is where a lot of the tech companies are.
And dude, look, there's Stanford, like
Mountain View.
Yeah.
So I think this release probably doesn't have a lot of those companies we've been talking about, if any, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, who knows?
Isn't Facebook in like Palo Alto? Pretty sure.
Yes. I think we just did that. Let's see. Hold on.
Intel Museum. It's got California's. See, if you zoom out to a certain point, it gives you like some cool high level stuff. Mission College.
Oh.
Intel Museum.
Facebook's in Menlo Park.
Oh yeah, Menlo Park. That's
Menlo
right.
Park. Ouch. Is also kind of by. It's just like in that little kind of peninsula right there.
Look, Googleplex.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying, man. I don't know how.
We'll probably expand at some point to that.
Oh my
and then
gosh.
It's freaking, you got to get it.
I don't know, man. I don't know that Upland's going to want to release that to some just regular old player like myself. I think they'd probably want to snag that themselves and hold on to it and dangle that in front of those guys.
Dude, it makes you wonder if that's why they're opening this city to be like, hey, we're about to expand over here.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Like, this could be, maybe these are some of the partnerships that are coming. We don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know what I want to do eventually?
But there's some one of the other who plays at Levi's Stadium? That's one of the stadiums
I don't know.
that's showing.
It's kind of I don't know. It makes this, I think of rodeos when I hear that.
Let's look this up. Levi's Stadium. Home of the
49ers. What the hell? Are you kidding me?
Damn.
I didn't know that. See, that's again shows you how ignorant I am on Bay Area.
Yeah, look, when you zoom out, like there's only a few things that show up. Santa Clara University, Kaiser
Permanente,
Medical, what?
That's a center.
Medical center. That's like a hospital.
Yeah.
And then Levi's Stadium. So I like doing that. I like zooming out on the map and kind of seeing the big points of interest that pop out.
Yeah, I don't think that necessarily it's true of all properties that location is the big thing, but certainly, the collections and the most valuable properties are going to, be associated with the most valuable properties in real life, right? So, I mean, imagine owning Levi Stadium, the San Francisco 49ers, the stadium where the San Francisco 49ers play. I mean, that would be cool. And I'd love to be able to, anyways, I'd like to take that to them. Buck Shaw Stadium. What the heck is Buck Shaw Stadium?
Check that out. There's, let me go to the screen. Buck Shaw Stadium as well. And museums. Man, this area is cool, dude. Look, they got all sorts of stuff over here. Did you see Buck Shaw Stadium?
Yeah, Buck Shaw Stadium. It looks like it's a like an AFL kind of place. Let's see. It has the Santa Clara Broncos soccer team and some now defunct Santa Clara football team, and a Santa Clara baseball team. That's cool. Okay. So, but that stadium. Oh wait, no, hold on, my bad.
Well, another big thing to go for in a lot of cities have been museums. So,
yeah,
go for the museums, go for the theaters. go for the stadiums, go for the police department here.
All right, my bad. Okay, so, dude, I'm sure there are people out there watching this. If they're, if you're watching this and you're like,
Well, come on, we can't be an expert on every city.
okay, so actually that stadium, Buckshaw Stadium, is actually the stadium for Santa Clara University. So my bad.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That it's.
So one of the things I've always wanted to do, by the way, I know this is kind of like I haven't really fully developed this thought, but one of the things I've always wanted to do is when I get a few properties in Upland within my possession, when I buy a couple of these properties, I just want to contact the people who live in the actual physical and be like, hey, I own the digital version of your house. Or hey, Apple, I own the digital version of your corporate headquarters, and just see what could be done there. Like, I don't know, man. But there's something that can be done. Like,
oh, absolutely. Absolutely, man.
I don't know. Just if it the very least is getting my picture in front of it. I own the digital version of this place.
Oh yeah, some of the big cool I owned one of the Alexander Hamilton ones in New York. Like, I would love to go there in New York next time I go to New York.
Yeah, dude.
Because it's like, this game's actually helped me learn a lot about different cities. Like the cities that are released, I could probably go to that city and know a bunch of different fun facts about the different neighborhoods and stuff.
Yeah, so that's one of the things that I know we talked a little bit about in the UCN meeting today is, okay, these cities are not just an opportunity for us to buy and sell properties, but it's an opportunity for us to explore and understand better the culture. I mean, one of the limitations in real life is the ability to, transport yourself to any one of these cities in the blink of an eye, right? So you can see, okay, this is what Chicago's actually like. Wow, look at the steam coming out of these buildings. And, I didn't know that there was a Greek town. What's the history of a Greek town in Chicago? Why Greek in Chicago? So, in addition to buying and selling properties, this is an opportunity for us to explore our world in a way that we can do with limited resources and through the comforts of our own home without leaving our computer. So, I'm hoping that in the future we can do more of exploring the city and the cultures in that city and the people and understanding the people in that city more than just coming in and buying and selling. Now, of course, I primarily want to make some money. That's the whole point of this game, right? But I also want to learn, I'm interested in other cultures and I would like to expand my horizons a little. And I think that this game could, or the metaverse at least, could offer a great opportunity to do that.
It's a good point. Why not mix all three? Gaming, making money, and learning.
Right, yeah, cultural awareness. Like, we all know that we can all do better at being more culturally broadened in our mind and in our hearts. And what would be a better way to do that than through the metaverse, which is right here in your browser. I mean, it's not as cool as actually being there. I get it. But I mean, I'm learning some stuff. I didn't know there were places in Chicago that are kind of hallmarked as mafia, places. That's cool, man. Like if I were to go to Chicago now as a tourist, I'd actually want to see those mafia properties. I would have not have known that those ever existed prior to those being a collection in the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, anyways.
Yeah. What else was I gonna say? What were we just talking about?
We were talking about Santa Clara. We're talking about what's happening next.
I forgot. Lost in space. It's not meant to be.
All right. Well, let's see. So that's the first of our UCN network meeting. Now here's the message that we want to convey. So it was just a brief meeting, maybe 35 minutes today. So a couple things from that. One is we are actually having the opportunity to interact with the developers of the game. And we came away with the feeling, the vibe that these folks want to interact with as many users as possible to get better ideas for the game and to ensure that there's really true community and conversation between users and developers, right? So the good thing about that is, and knowing that is that there are actual people who are hoping to make this thing better. We know that the game has come a long way since its inception, and they also admit that there's a long way to go. And so, jump along for the ride, because it's going to be fast and furious here in a few months. That's takeaway number one. Takeaway number two, again, is that there is an active interest in not only developing the roadmap, but perfecting the roadmap to the point where the metaverse becomes something that is informed by the community and is really a truly awesome thing that everyone can enjoy. The third thing is, this is not a scam. Okay, this is a game. It's a metaverse. It's not an experiment. There's real money to be made. There's a company behind it for sure. They're a profit-seeking company, and they have real goals to get somewhere cool. So
yeah, but they are also building something awesome that I think is. I think in a year from now and 2 years from now that we won't even recognize.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be totally different. They're gonna keep building this and keep making it better. I think in the future you'll be able to zoom in and see so much detail on every building and personalization that people have actually gone in and customized. Right now it's very basic. We just barely launched in the past month the ability to build buildings, permanent buildings in the game. But even that's going to get better and better. And that was another cool thing they did actually recently, was a community contest. They allowed players to submit 3D models of properties they had purchased. And some of them were just like a random house. But they had built, the player actually built a 3D model, submitted it to the team, and they picked 3 winners who actually, now the game is going to build that model that they built and put it on their property.
So so where did these people build those 3D models? Like in like a like a 3D rendering program, or it wasn't it wasn't like Spark, right? That they did that with?
I'm not sure. Yeah, some type of 3D tool.
Gotcha.
Digital. Here, I can pull up. I won't be able to show Discord on here actually, but yeah, it's really cool. They're encouraging the community to get involved in all sorts of different ways, right? People have found hackers and people who point out a way that people are hacking are getting rewarded. Like, they're doing so many cool things it's a community game. Everyone can get involved in their own way, and hey, we all want to make some money too. We're in it for the investment and for it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a game.
Absolutely.
It's enjoyable.
So as we continue to go to these UCN meetings, we'll continue to update you as a community. Maybe the next time we go to this community, maybe we'll ask them about the Llama, or you could do that straight away in Discord. But I might ask that question if no one else does, because I'm not sure if I understand. But
maybe they made it a llama because we learned at the beginning that llamas spit on other llamas to show dominance. Maybe maybe Upland is saying we are the dominant metaverse.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, because there's nothing more domineering in the wild than a spitting llama.
Oh yeah.
I mean, lions, tigers,
spitting loogies at other llamas.
Right.
So
cool.
Thanks for joining us today. Please like, subscribe, support us on YouTube. That's comment. Let us know what you think. Let us know ways that we can improve, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one.
Absolutely. Take care.